turn. Hit me twice. Go!
That's rather nice.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 creepy and dark songs from animated kids movies.
Beware, 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 beware.
For this list, we'll be looking at the eeriest song breaks from children's animation that are as good as nightmare fuel. Which one of these freaked you out the most as a kid? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Hi Diddle Dee Dee, Pinocchio.
Remember what I said about temptation? Uh-huh. Well, that's him.
This is one of those songs that radiates It's a Small World energy. It's upbeat and deceivingly cheery, but there's something so downright unsettling about it at the same time. Maybe it's because we often associate older sounding music with being creepy, or maybe it's because, unlike It's a Small World, we know for certain something sinister is going on in this scene.
I'm diddly-day, an actor's life is gay. It's great to be a celebrity, an actor's life for me.
Pinocchio, in all his childhood innocence, is being swindled by the typically shifty fox character. The scene radically exudes stranger danger. It only gets scarier once Jiminy Cricket catches wind of what's going on and we see his point of view through odd, distorted angles. At least Pinocchio is the only singing doll here.
Hey, Pinocchio, you can't go.
Very good.
Number 19, How Bad Can I Be? The Lorax. Ah yes, the absolutely wild deviation from Dr. Seuss's standard formula. The number definitely goes harder than it needs to. And in all fairness, it doesn't start out so dark.
How bad can I be? I'm just doing what comes naturally. How bad can I be? I'm just following my destiny.
We've got a rainbow in the clouds, some impressive guitar playing, and some rather enthusiastic forest animals. But before long, the Onceler is slipping into Slytherin-reminiscent attire, and a sense of foreboding starts to build in this ridiculously catchy number. Axes fly, trees fall, and an almost comically realistic montage of corporate greed overwhelms the scene.
So I'm bigger in my company, I'm bigger in my factory, I'm bigger in my corporate sign. Everybody out there, you take care of yours, and me, I'll take care of mine. Shake that bottom line.
This song puts the term scaling into new perspective. A giant, towering Onceler is scarier than it needs to be, and the message is made even gloomier with the current state of environmental affairs IRL.
Who cares if a few trees are dying? This is also gratifying. How bad? How bad can this possibly be?
Number 18, Shiny, Moana. This is some great directing. Tamatoa, the giant coconut crab, not only looks menacing in his grandiose size and low-angle shots, he's also decidedly frightening with the lyrics he sings.
I'd rather be shiny, like a treasure from a sunken pirate wreck. Scrub the deck and make it look shiny.
Make no mistake, Tamatoa doesn't care for glam and gold so much as he does his meals, which is the whole reason he prioritizes being shiny. It lures other animals who live in the sea, and the crab, in turn, has himself a nice lunch or dinner.
Don't you know, fish are dumb, they chase anything that glitters. Beginners. Oh, and here they come to the brightest thing that glitters.
Apparently, he isn't very picky with what comes his way, because he has every intention of eating humans and demigods too. He's about as subtle as the surface of his shell. We'll just say that.
You will die, now it's time for me to take apart your aching heart.
Number 17, Madame Mim, The Sword in the Stone. Madame Mim's character design is already terrifying enough, never mind when she begins to sing and dance.
With only a touch, I have the power. Zim, zap, rim, bim, do wither a flower. I find delight in the gruesome and grim.
We've got yet another case of supersizing, which always succeeds in startling us, but the tiny bird-sized Madame Mim is pretty unnerving too. As if that wasn't enough, we quickly get to see just how far her shape-shifting abilities extend.
Boo! Oh, you see? I win! Aren't I hideous, boy?
So what's the verdict? Do we think she's creepier with a pig snout, or as the beautiful lady that so obviously has something unnatural about her? Our vote goes to the cat form, but anything with those piercing green eyes and shrill voice is bound to give us the heebie-jeebies.
I'm an ugly old creep! The magnificent, marvelous, mad, Madame Mim!
Number 16, the Siamese cat song, Lady and the Tramp. Though the song itself definitely has not aged well, Peggy Lee is a voice we always associate with warm, full, strong exuberance. Nothing like the high, thin voices of the Siamese cat twins from Lady and the Tramp.
We are Siamese, if you please. We are Siamese, if you don't please.
The unearthliness of the characters can probably most be attributed to their designs and how they move so fluidly in sync. Although the song really isn't very long at all, it's awfully recognizable, and you'd be hard-pressed to find a fan who doesn't hear the well-known lyrics in their minds when faced with an actual Siamese cat. We're not sure if all Siamese cats are as sneaky and slippery as these two, but this song certainly made our younger selves believe as much. Number 15, Sleeping Beauty, Sleeping Beauty. This is a rather beautiful but spine-chilling melody. The scene begins with the three good fairies lamenting over Aurora, who's just succumbed to her 100-year sleep. While dark or creepy aren't the first adjectives you're likely to use to describe the sound, it still carries a weight that always seems to make our hearts heavy.
Poor King Stephen and the Queen. They'll be heartbroken when they find out.
They're not going to.
They aren't.
But we'll put them all to sleep until Rose awakens.
It's undeniably eerie watching the fairies put the whole castle into a quiet, morose slumber. The idea that the whole kingdom will come to a standstill for the next century is pretty dark, especially when you consider the only people who would have been awake for the duration of it. By the time the last candle has been delicately snuffed out, we're left with goosebumps.
Till then, sleeping
Number 14, Heffalumps and Woozles, Winnie the Pooh and the Blustery Day.
they're green, they're blue, they're pink, they're white, they're round, they're square, they're a terrible sight.
If you've feared astral projection since you were a kid, we may have some answers for you. As he falls asleep, we see Winnie the Pooh transported into a nightmare sequence that goes a few steps past unsettling. Heffalumps, in case you're curious, are the elephant-like creatures you see in the sequence, while Woozles are the ones sort of resembling weasels.
They come in ones and twosles, but if they so choosles, before your eyes you'll see them multiply.
The latter are actually known for stealing honey, which certainly puts the dream into a bit more context for the character. The talent of the composers is apparent, and we bet they had a ton of fun crafting this bit, but it was a lot less fun for us and Pooh Bear. Poor thing, look at him, he doesn't deserve to be scarred like this.
They're far, they're near, they're gone, they're here, they're quick and slick, they're insincere. Beware, beware, beware.
Number 13, Pink Elephants on Parade, Dumbo.
Look out, they're walking around the bed, on their head, clippity-cloppity.
Yeah, so this is terrifying. The whole trippy, psychedelic art style would have maybe been okay on its own if not for the very weird imagery accompanying it. Plus, they managed to make the music sound so foreboding, our stomachs are twisting uncomfortably even now.
I can stand the sight of worms and look at microscopic germs, but Technicolor pachyderms is really too much for me.
If you've got very young children, do them a favor and don't let them watch Dumbo until they're just a little bit older. You remember the scene of Dumbo crying over his mom, right? The trauma is strong with this one. Like, seriously, what is that grotesque elephant head monster? We're good to never see another pink elephant again, thanks.
Chase 'em away, I'm afraid, need your aid, pink elephants on parade.
Number 12, Mother Knows Best, Tangled. As far as villain numbers go, this is definitely one for the history books. We obviously knew Mother Gothel was evil before this, but her song shows us exactly how she scares Rapunzel into compliance, and likely how she's been doing it since she kidnapped her.
Ruffians, thugs, poison ivy, quicksand, cannibals and snakes, the plague. No, yes, also large bugs, men with pointy teeth, and stop no more, you'll just upset me.
The worst part is that, while she's exaggerating, Gothel definitely isn't lying. The world's a scary place. Of course, the role of a parental figure or guardian is to teach their kids to navigate that scary world, not fear it so badly they never want to leave.
On your own, you won't survive. Sloppy, underdressed, immature, clumsy, please, they'll eat you up alive.
Another example of fabulous directing, this scene plays wonderfully with lighting, shadows, and lyrical cues. Still, the spookiest part of it is watching Gothel's maltreatment of Rapunzel play out right in front of us.
You regret it, Mother knows best.
Number 11, My Lullaby, The Lion King 2, Simba's Pride.
A symphony of death, oh my, that's my lullaby.
There's a lot to be put off by in this scene. For one, young Kovu doesn't deserve to be manipulated by Zira, especially not when he's just a cub. For another, Zira's lyrics, when you really pay attention to them, spell out some pretty nasty desires. Not only does she long to kill Simba, but his wife and daughter are mentioned too. Actually, she makes no attempts to hide her ideal outcome.
Oh, the battle may be bloody, but that kind of works for me.
It doesn't get much darker than that. The rest of the song goes on to detail how she'll raise Kovu to take his vengeance and turn him into a killer.
And then our flag will fly against a blood-red sky. That's my lullaby.
Yeah, we don't really feel like dozing off right now. Number 10, Friends on the Other Side, The Princess and the Frog.
I can read your future. I can change it around some too.
Voodoo Man Dr. Facilier is here to facilitate your dreams.
I got voodoo, I got hoodoo, I got things I ain't even tried. And I got friends on the other side.
While trying to rope Prince Naveen into his dark schemes, Facilier sings this seductive song telling him about his past, present, and future. It may seem that Facilier is showing Naveen the future he dreams of, but when you listen a little closer, he is actually predicting Naveen's fate as a frog.
You just want to be free, hop from place to place. But freedom takes green.
It's never said explicitly, as Facilier simply refers to the source of his powers as his friends from the other side. When his voodoo dolls, masks, and talking heads join in on the spooky rhythm, it is clear he's talking about evil spirits.
You can blame my friends on the other side. Now what you want?
Number 9, Toxic Love, Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest.
Oil and grime, poison sludge.
The humans have gone too far. They've caused so much pollution that the evil spirit Hexus uses all the smog and oil to resurrect his powers. Don't let the song's bluesy beat, smooth sax, and Tim Curry absolutely giving this song distract you from the disturbing message. The entire movie, and this song in particular, warn against the true cost of pollution and deforestation.
Greedy human beings will always lend a hand with the destruction of this worthless jungle.
As Hexus prepares to ooze all over Fern Gully, he sings this love song to all the animals he'll consume, the trees he'll destroy, and most importantly to the greed of humans that brought them together.
You love my toxic love.
Number 8, The Mob Song, Beauty and the Beast.
So it's time to take some action, boys. It's time to follow me.
Also affectionately known as Kill the Beast, this song shows how mob mentality takes over and turns the townspeople into a murderous horde. Much like how real-life incidents of mob violence begin, this tune starts as a whisper, rumors passing between the townspeople. and quickly erupts into a rallying cry by Gaston to storm the castle and kill the beast.
We don't like what we don't understand. In fact, it scares us, and this monster is mysterious at least.
Gaston plays on the townspeople's fears and calls to them to literally grab torches and pitchforks, like a scene straight out of any classic monster movie. Number 7. Savages, Pocahontas.
What can you expect from filthy little heathens? Here's what you get when races are diverse.
Governor Ratcliffe has been looking for the perfect justification to invade Chief Powhatan's land, and now he has it. After an altercation between John Smith and Kocoum that results in Kocoum's death, John is taken to pay for his crime. Ratcliffe wastes no time sounding the drums of war, with the Native Americans following suit to defend themselves. Though it isn't handled with the most sensitivity or nuance, what makes this song so dark is how deeply rooted in truth it is.
Savages, savages, they're even human. Now we sound the drum.
It's a pretty heavy message in a kids' movie that wars are fought because cultures distrust each other simply because they're different.
They're not like you and me, which means they must be evil.
Number 6. Be Prepared, The Lion King.
I know that your powers of retention are as wet as a warthog's backside.
As green smoke billows from the ground, Scar walks straight towards you. So close it almost feels like he's going to walk right out of your screen. Scar is not a subtle character, and there's no beating around the bush when he sings flat out about murdering his own brother and nephew to take their throne.
Idiots, there will be a king.
Hey, but you said,
I will be king. Stick with me, and you'll never go hungry again.
Like any good tyrant, he promises his subjects extravagance in exchange for their support and obedience. Dark and creepy are definitely two descriptions for this song. Scar is as menacing as ever, and the mise-en-scène perfectly conveys just how dangerous the character is.
Yes, our teeth and ambitions are bared. Be prepared.
Number 5. In the Dark of the Night, Anastasia.
In the dark of the night I was tossing and turning, and the nightmare I had was as bad as can be.
Rasputin, the evil sorcerer, tried and failed to destroy the entire Romanov line. As punishment, he was sentenced to an eternity in purgatory. When a new opportunity to complete his dark purpose arises, he goes off on this evil villain soliloquy about how he tried to kill Anastasia as a little girl, and is now back to finish the job.
Little Anya, beware, Rasputin's away.
In the dark of the night, evil will find her.
Though the somewhat campy visual of his minions acting as his backup singers and dancers is a bit disarming, it's overpowered by the terrifying imagery used throughout the scene.
She'll be mine!
Once Upon a December is also worth a mention. Despite how delicate and beautiful it is, Anya is dancing with the ghosts of her past, people who were very likely murdered during the siege of the palace.
Once upon a December.
Number 4. Poor Unfortunate Souls, The Little Mermaid.
I admit that in the past I've been a nasty. They weren't kidding when they called me, well, a witch.
Ursula the Sea Witch only wishes to help those poor unfortunate souls get their heart's desire, or so she tricks Ariel into believing.
Poor unfortunate souls in pain, in need.
The interesting thing about this song is that Ursula never technically lies to Ariel. She manipulates her into signing over her voice by telling her the truth. She confesses that she has punished those who could not pay her price.
Now it's happened once or twice. Someone couldn't pay the price, and I'm afraid I had to rake 'em across the coals.
She even shows her the gruesome fate that has befallen her previous clients, and Ariel signs anyway. Ariel may think she's making a fair trade, but she's really signing away her soul to Ursula. Number 3. This is Halloween, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
This is Halloween, pumpkins scream in the dead of night.
In a movie that's basically a horror flick for kids, all of the songs are pretty creepy. But what else would you expect from a collaboration between Tim Burton and Danny Elfman? There's a lot to simultaneously love and dread in Jack's Lament, but we had to give this entry to the famed This Is Halloween. The song serves as an introduction to all of the terrifying creatures in Halloween Town.
Life's no fun without a good scare.
That's our job.
But we're not mean in our town of Halloween.
It definitely had us checking under our beds and beneath our stairs before we went to sleep. With this spooky number as one of the first songs in the movie, it makes it clear you can expect this level of creepy from here on out. Number 2. The Plagues, The Prince of Egypt. To punish Ramesses for enslaving the Hebrews, God has put plagues upon the people of Egypt. In this song, Moses pleads with Ramesses to let his people go. But there is another part of this tune that lies beneath the surface of the conversation between the two feuding brothers.
Once I called you brother, once I thought the chance to make you laugh was all I ever wanted.
It is the plagues creeping into Egypt. The voices start out as a whisper and grow more and more intense with each coming evil. Just as frightening as the lyrics are the images of frogs emerging from the river, locusts swarming the fields, and people being covered in boils.
Thus saith the Lord,
I will not let my people go.
Deliver Us is a song equally as haunting, and the accompanying visuals do little to reassure us. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Hellfire, The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Beata Maria, you know I am a righteous man. Of my virtue I am justly proud.
It may have gone over your head as a kid, but when you listen to this song as an adult, you realize just how dark it was for a kids' movie. Judge Frollo has fallen in love, or rather, lust, with Esmeralda.
I feel her, I see her, the sun caught in her raven hair is blazing in me out of all control.
Naturally being a righteous man, none of this is his fault. The blame is all on Esmeralda for tempting him into sin. In this tune, Frollo sings about his uncontrollable thirst for Esmeralda. He will make Esmeralda his, or she will burn on the pyre and continue to burn in hell.
Destroy Esmeralda, and let her taste the fires of hell, or else let her be mine and mine alone.
Just your average love song, right?
She will be mine, or she will.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.